This is a penetration test of Dead Duck Publishing's data center, specifically Web Server 1. So the first thing we need to do is identify what subnet we are on. That we can run ifconfig. This shows that our attack machine is 192.168.9.1. We can also confirm this by running an ICMP echo request for an IP address that we know is not on the network. And we should get a reply from the router saying that the host is unreachable, which it does, and the router is determined to be 192.168.9.1. The next thing we can do is run nmap-sp 192.168.9.0/24 to scan the subnet. And it scanned all these addresses and found the web server to likely be 192.168.9.129. So the next thing to do is run nmap with the -sv parameter, which I've already run because it can take a couple of minutes. And it's identified that the open ports and services are SSH, RPC bind, and FTP, specifically the version per FTPD 133C on port 9090. So the next thing I've done is run an OpenVAS security scan to identify the vulnerabilities on this specific address. I've already run this again because the full scan can take a while. And again, here we are, per FTPD 133C can be exploited via a backdoor. So from that, we can run MSF console to launch Metasploit. Which will tell us about any vulnerabilities with this specific service. So I'm going to do a search for that. And looking through these options, option 4 shows the backdoor option, so we're going to use that. And it takes two parameters, which are the target host, so we'll set that to be 192.168.9.129, which is the web server, and the port of this FTP service, which is 9090, and we can just click exploit. And now running QMI shows us that we are now in the root account in Web Server 1. So at this point, we've already exploited the web server, but we can take this one step further and extract the passwords from the web server to potentially attack another or any other accounts or web servers on this network. So for that, we are going to run cat etc password, which contains user ID, user account information such as the user ID and group IDs, and we will copy that into a file, and we'll name this as passwords.txt. Okay, close that, and we'll do the same for etc shadow, as this contains the hashes of all the passwords. And because we have a terminal, we can simply just copy paste this straight out of the account. Save this as shadows.txt. Okay, so at this point we want to combine the two files to create the username and password, essentially. And we want to put a file on shadow.txt. Okay, so now that that's done, we will want to use a tool called John. John's a useful tool for password cracking because it can provide very quickly compute hashes when given a password list, and the resulting hashes will be compared with another hash list, in this case unshadowed.txt, and if the match is found, then the password will be shown. Of course, this doesn't work if the hashes have been salted, but we'll find out in a moment if this works. So for that, we're going to use wc-l exploit data word lists. So this just shows how many entries are in the password list that we're going to use. So there's 88,397. And then we're going to run the command John. With this password list, compare it against unshadowed.txt. And I'm missing a dash here. Okay, so this will now run through all of those passwords, creating hashes, and it will stop when it finds a match. And if it does, it will identify the username as well because we have combined both of those. So here we go, we've got root as the username and puppet as the password. And because we know SSH is a running service, we can do SSH, the username, which is root, 192.168.1.29, which is the web server. Click yes, and put in the password. I'm going to copy and paste this here just to show that it works. And there we go. And just entering who am I once more will show us that we are root, and this web server has been successfully exploited.